Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 17th, 2024 Lackawanna City Council meeting. Before we begin our general meeting, we usually have what's known as our caucus. It gives us an opportunity as a city council to review the agenda and ask and debate and discuss any of the particular agenda items. Once that's complete, we then move to the formal city council meeting where the votes will be taken on each respective agenda item. To that end, the first several items are administrative, so we'll move directly to communications from division and department heads. Agenda item number 4 from our city attorney, request city council approve the agreement between the city and City Creatures Animal Hospital. City Creatures will provide veterinary services for the police department canine pursuant to an agreement that is attached. And the author of that agreement is our city attorney, John Gaughan. John, you want to add some background regarding this for the public's consumption?
Sure. So the police officer who has a partner who is a canine took the canine to this veterinary clinic in small, let me get the name right, City Creatures Animal Hospital offered to provide certain free services and certain discounted services for the care and welfare of that dog. And therefore he came back, checked with the law department put together a proposed agreement. City Creatures agreed to that agreement, and now it's before the council for the council's consideration. One thing I'd like to add about procedurally, prior to the council meeting, the actual beginning of the meeting, just make clear the address of where we're having the meeting as opposed to the agenda says council chambers. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for that. Yeah. 2 questions on that item. First of all, it appears that this is a first of its kind agreement with the veterinary agency for our canine. And secondly, does this agreement just pertain to the canine corps that Lackawanna's police department has, or does it also include the animals that say our dog warden picks up and might be euthanized or treated or whatever the case may be?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it only deals with the canine corps, and this is the first agreement of its kind that I am aware of. 10 years ago, I don't know if there were any agreement, but this is the first type of agreement with an entity, and the entity is kind enough sort of providing a public service by giving a discounted services for veterinary care of the canine. But it's only for the canine unit and not for the other examples you gave.
Okay, thank you. Any council members have any comments or questions on item number 4?
In the event of an emergency, I'm sure the canine is able to go to other places. In the event that this place is not available, there's no room, they're not operating.
That's more of a yes, but you go to another place, you're going to pay full freight or full price, but there's no exclusivity where it's only City Creatures that gets to treat this canine. It's just a proposed service that looks advantageous to the city because it's discounted.
And is this something that would need to be renewed or revisited every year?
So the agreement has a clause in it where it will renew automatically until either party terminates, and either party can terminate within 30 days as long as they do it in writing. They notify the other party in writing.
Any other council members have any questions?
Yeah, one quick one.
Yes.
Is money going to be in the police budget for this? The money?
So, I would presume that it's part of the police department's budget, and that is the care of its patrol people.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Moving on to item number 5 from our city assessor's aide, submits to the city council an updated inventory list of city-owned properties available for sale. aware, or Chuck, are you aware, are those properties that are available, that are owned by the city, are they being marketed?
So this is a collective list of all city properties, so some of them are, some of them are not.
Okay.
You'll notice, for example, 539 Ridge Road, which is the lot that we hope to be closing with Douglas Development at some time in the near future, is listed as pending. Any of the big city lots that we sold, like Alliance Drive, 2019 Abbott Road, so on and so forth, are not listed here. So it's a collective of everything from little buildable lots to smaller unbuildable lots and everything larger than that.
Thank you. Any other comments from the
If
council?
I may, Mr. Council President, I
Yes.
think we're supposed to get this list every year.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
It's an annual
Yeah, yeah.
requirement.
Okay.
Yep. I don't see them listed here, no.
Okay, anyone else? Moving on to item number 6 from Director of Parks and Recreation. Director Laxo requests City Council approve the use of Franklin Playground by the Global Concepts Charter School, High School soccer team. Proof of insurance will be provided. Director Laxo, anything you want to add on item number 6?
No, this is something we do annually, and the insurance is not current because they put the request in a few months early. It will expire in July, but I'll stay on top of it, make certain that when it's renewed, we get a copy.
Thank you. Any council members have any comments or questions? Item number 6. Moving on to item number 7, our senior foreman, Dan Gerken, requests the City Council approve contract for Erie County a bid to use Galvo Construction for the salt shed project. Bid price is $274,500. Proposal is attached. Dan, you want to give a little background on this for the public's consumption?
Yeah, on January 9th, 2024, we had a windstorm that completely demolished our salt shed where we store salt for the winter. So we needed a new salt shed, nothing could be salvaged. We had to do an emergency demo and haul it all out. So we're getting reimbursed from the insurance company for $124,000, $53.60. And the city's portion is $150,000, $446. $150,446.40, and that will be coming from the contingent budget line.
And you have a related item on council agenda, item number 8, which deals with the insurance amount and the city's amount and the appropriate ordinance accompanying that, correct?
Correct, that's on the next item.
Yeah, thank you. Any city council members have any questions or issues on item number 7 or 8? Okay, again, item number 8 from Dan Gerken, senior foreman. Again, it addresses the replacement of the salt barn. Moving on to item number 9 from our assistant city controller Peggy B. Sobel requests City Council approve the ordinance regarding the proceeds received from the sale of DPW vehicles in the amount of $4,683. Peggy, anything you want to add on that?
It was the items that were approved at a previous council meeting have been sold, the revenue came in, it's just recognizing the revenue and putting it back into the budget.
Yeah, it is, you have the corresponding ordinance attached. Thank you. Any council members have any questions? Item number 9. Item number 10, again from Assistant City Controller Peggy B. Sobel. Request City Council approve ordinance regarding the proceeds received from the sale of a 1988 Simon duplex ladder truck was sold for $6,550. Peggy, anything you want to add on that?
Same type of situation.
Council, any questions? We on to item number 11. Again, Assistant City Controller requests City Council approve a list of transfers that will balance all of the accounts that were in red as of July 31st, 2023. And Peggy, on this is an annual event, and it takes budgeted items and any leftover monies go to make up any deficiencies in other accounts, correct?
Correct.
Right. Any council members have any questions on that particular item number 11? That moving on to item number 12, again, Assistant City Controller. By City Council approve ordinance regarding transfer of $30,000 for services to be provided for training / support assessor's office. City council members remember last meeting we did deal with this, authorizing the mayor enter into an arrangement for support to come over and fulfill the requirements of the assessor's office and to train the current assistant, Debbie Gable, in an attempt to fulfill that position. Peggy, anything you want to add on that?
It's just funding that, that's all.
We talked about last meeting. Council members have anything, any questions or any issues on item number 12? So now moving on to item number 13 from Chuck Clark, Director of Development, Marketing, Public Information, request City Council for the ordinance pre-funding a zoning code update in the amount of $100,000. $90,000 is reimbursable upon completion of the project. Chuck, this is a big ticket item for the city, especially the city's future. Do you want to expound on that a little bit?
Certainly. So in 2013, the former Director of Development applied to the New York Department of State for 2 grants. One of them was the LWRP, the Local Waterfront Revitalization Project, and that was an update of work that was done in 2018 and never completed. So that was a $50,000 grant. This particular project here was a companion grant to that, which was to take a look at our zoning code to make sure that it is up to date with the current developments that are happening in the city and may be proposed in the future. It's a $90,000 grant, fully reimbursable. It will operate very similarly to the LWRP. There will be a steering committee, there will be public forums, there will be input from the council, input from department heads, citizens, and so on. So basically what this does is allow us to just do a tweak and a modification in some cases, and in other instances, maybe if you look at Our Lady of Victory, for example, and the most recent developments happening there about historic designation, there may be some recommendations about preservation and what we do about those things in the future. The other thing is it builds upon is, again, when my predecessor was still here, she engaged the University of Buffalo School of Architecture and Planning to do what they call the graduate symposium, and they use the City of Lackawanna zoning code as their semester project. So there's a great graduate level study work and research that was done that would guide into this project. The second piece of this element that you have, this item that you have in front of you, is the actual contract to engage CNS engineers to run the project for us. This is a very detailed, very large-scale project, very much like the LWRP, where we have Wendell engineers running that. CNS is our technical guide on that project, all of it under the Department of Development with consultation with the mayor and the council. So this is an opportunity for us to do everything from tweak and refine to possibly even adding new things like historic preservation that we don't have today.
And hopefully, just on a personal note, that we address the Lackawanna Public Library, and
Exactly.
whether historic designation or any upkeep in the future. So
Absolutely, and actually the whole dialogue around OLV triggered an entire conversation about the library, and quite honestly, there was some work early on. Councilmember Flaw, you may remember when we had to do the work around Lehigh Field. We had to go to SHPO, which is the State Historic Preservation Office, because probably somewhere around 15 years ago, there was some work done to identify potentially historic buildings in the First Ward. And so we had to, when we were doing the Lehigh changes to the playground, we had to make sure that we were not disturbing any of those historic areas. So I think there's opportunity not only for OLV, but for the library and possibly some of the properties in the First Ward that this whole project will take a deeper look at.
And do you know offhand, Chuck, how the steering committee will be formed?
Well, that's a great question, and it's driven by us, but the composition should be somebody from the city. So it's about a 5 or 6 person. The LWRP was 15 people, pretty large. This zoning, the grant calls for no more than 6. So there should be somebody from the council, somebody from the zoning board, somebody from the planning board, somebody representing the department, and somebody representing the community, and maybe 2 representing the community if we go 5 or 6. So there should be a broad cross-section of everything from our boards to our legislative body to the administration to the community.
Thank you.
And again, just one last point, if I may, this $100,000, if the grant's 90, the 10,000 is simply a contingency. We don't anticipate going over 90, but just in the event that prices change or what have you, and the other point I do want to make is that we are not asking for you to transfer this money from the general fund, because the director's job was open for 6 months at least in the fiscal year. Some of the consulting money that would have been used for engineering and other services was underspent. So I worked with Peggy to move some of that underspent money to fund this project. So you're not taking anything out of the general fund for this, you're just simply moving from a consulting line that was already funded to a capital account.
It's good to know, thank you. Any council members have any issues or questions on item number 13? If not, moving on to item number 14, from our assessor's aid, request City Council approve the ordinance regarding sale of vacant lot 3140 South Park Avenue to Amana Enterprises LLC in the amount of $4,000. Chuck, anything on, can you expound on that?
Yeah, I can a little bit, and I'm going to also ask Mr. Gahn to help me in this. So Mr. Izzy Muhammad is the requester of this. He is focused on buying 3140 South Park Avenue, which is, for those who are familiar, the old Pat McCusker tax office. His request, and that is a private sale, that's not a city sale. His request is to buy the lot just to the immediate north of that at South Park and Barrel, which again, for some of us longtime veterans, used to be the home years ago of Bella Pizza. It's the opposite corner from Dairy Queen. Mr. Muhammad plans to renovate the old McCusker building to potentially house a medical facility of some sort of doctor clinic type of project, and he is looking for the lot at the corner to expand upon the parking and the footprint of the site. In terms of whether or not it's an appropriate use, it is an appropriate use. However, it is a buildable lot. I will point out it is a buildable lot. Obviously, there was a large building on there for many, many years. It's a 50 by 120 lot, so it is large. So one thing I will say to your earlier question, this was not a property that was on our active marketing list. It's always been up on the public properties that are for sale by request. So we really don't know if there's any other development interest in that property, because we've not done it. But it certainly is a buildable lot that may be possibly used for infill housing or other type of commercial development. And the other thing that I would like Mr. Gahn to opine on is, one of the things I know that we've had collective concerns about is the sale of city property without tangible deadlines for starting and completion on some of these projects. The gas station on Ridge Road, which has nothing to do with Mr. Muhammad, I want to be clear about that, but is an example of a project that has no end game in sight. There was a permit that was issued, work started, work stopped for various reasons, and so we are looking into, and Mr. Gahn, I'll ask you to jump in here, looking at some legal work to put some tighter requirements around these types of permits in the
We've
future.
been, as a council, been talking about that.
Absolutely. Council, planning board, all of it.
John?
And the only thing I would add is that the law department is looking at to set up policies and procedures in order for the mothballing effect of a property not to occur in the city. So we're in the process of doing that, but it just doesn't happen immediately because of all the other things that go on. So we're in the process of looking and considering certain policy changes in order to tidy up and make sure there are deadlines. So, and not that this is the case, but so somebody doesn't go buy property that then just leaves it dormant for 10 years. So we're in the process. Next question may be, well, when will the law department be done? I don't know, and it'll at least take another 30 to 60 days to actually look at, review, put together a policy, and then have it before the council.
So we've had issues apparently with the gas station. The gas station is built, ready to go. So those issues were remedied by the current owner, whoever he is, in search of a person to lease that property. However, we as a council, we as a city, that predates me. I've already been here almost 3 years. So we are very well aware that we've had those issues, yet we haven't done our work. So Sales like this are gonna be on hold to people who had nothing to do with the gas station or Douglas Jamal's purchase, which, again, big project, huge vision, great for the city, right? It hasn't gone anywhere. So in terms of cities selling property, are all of the properties gonna be on hold? All of the ones that we have on the agenda today that are up for sale? Where do we draw the line? Where do we say, okay, we have to do our end of the deal, meanwhile still allow people to purchase and to invest in our city? We do wanna be an investor-friendly city, right? We do wanna increase business in our city. So I'm just saying that I know, Director Chuck said that the gas station has nothing to do with this purchase today. But it sorta kinda does, and that's not fair to this individual.
But I think the first step is, do you agree, or do we agree as council, that we need to have restrictions added to the current procedure because of what happened with the gas station at the First Ward? Because although it's not a functioning gas station, the fact that it's no longer within our jurisdiction is because the gas station has been completed, the property is being maintained, and the taxes are being paid on it. However, to get to that point, it took a good, 5 years? So we discussed as a council putting requirements on a permit process, et cetera, so that we don't continue to keep running into those situations. So I think as a council, we have to decide, do we need that, or do we want to continue to see those kinds of steps taken to tighten down our permit procedure and the effective use and implementation of a sale? So that can be accomplished in a couple ways. It can be accomplished through the zoning planning board or through the issuance of the permit, and having it updated, having the procedure updated by putting guidelines and requirements that if certain benchmarks are not met by a certain time period, the permit can be withdrawn, the project can be stopped. The other alternative is to put a reverter clause that is effective and is enforced in the transfer deed, so that in the event that the property is transferred and nothing is done with it again, because we as a city have run into that problem in a significant number of times, and the reverter clauses which were put in those deeds were never enforced. Ran into another problem there. So I think this is, I was under the impression the city council did want the law department to draft something so that we did have more control over the timetable and the enforcement of the improvement of those properties, so that they weren't purchased on an if-come, so to speak, basis, or on a long-term investment basis, just to remain vacant, or construction starts but never finished, like in the example of the gas station, although eventually was finished. So I think we need to decide how we want to handle it. I was under the impression that the city law department was working on that, and that was a continuing issue. I could be mistaken.
No, the law department is working on it. It just takes more time than just a few hours and then me being able to report. And I wouldn't, the city or the law department isn't trying to penalize anyone. It's just trying to get a policy in effect of what I thought or believed was the wants and needs of the council and the administration. So, but it's you bring light to the fact that, why is Mr. Muhammad being singled out here? Because he has nothing to do with the past mothballed properties or people not delivering in the past. And that is 100% accurate. But there's a time where you have to say, okay, hold on a second, let's do something in order to prevent this so it doesn't happen. And I think that's the point we're at right at this meeting.
And John, to Councilmember Muflahi's point, what happens in the meantime when we have offers on properties like we do for this location? Again, if time is of the essence possibly, I don't know that to be the case. This is the first time I've seen this.
So the ask for 30 to 60 days is knowing the schedule of the council meetings. There's going to be only one per month in the summer, potentially a couple of special meetings, depending on what has to be addressed. And it's also time frame for me to really get something solid before all of you. But I don't believe 30 to 60 days is a huge ask. But all the properties that may be sold in the next 30 to 60 days, I believe should be tabled. Nothing should be sold unless, if a residential property is being sold for, actually, I say table them all until the policy is in effect. So it's not just treating one person one way and then someone else comes along. It's table them all until the policy is tight, passed by you, and then move forward. Does that answer the question?
Does any other council
Well, it
members have any questions?
still feels like this particular
Yeah.
property is what triggered this whole conversation, where it does seem all of a sudden, we're gonna table properties. We're gonna table every bid or every proposal. Why can't we, approve this or vote yes or no on this and then vote on how do we wanna address the future one? So it doesn't seem like we're singling out any particular person because there isn't anybody coming right now to bid on a particular parcel that has an investor type criteria to meet or permits that need to be fulfilled within a certain amount of time. It may not be our intention to single this individual out, but it sure seems like it is.
So my quick answer to this is it's for all of you to decide on where to go. But the risk is somebody buys the property and it ends up just like where St. Barbara's used to be, just like the gas station that's being referred to, just like some other property that nothing is done, or complete opposite. Somebody gets their hands on it, boom, everything is moving along as planned.
Well, John, if I may, is there a distinction, and I'm not a lawyer, so I'm asking a question, I'm not challenging you. So is there a distinction between allowing something like this sale or anything like it to go forward with the reverter clause in the sale contract versus actually the policy about issuing permits, revoking permits, things of that nature? Would the reverter clause in a sale contract in the interim while you're doing your work suffice to allow a request like this to go forward, but at the same time have some degree of teeth in them should the plan development not go forward?
So great question. I don't have an answer for you right here, right now on that issue.
How long is this?
Excuse me, there's another question.
Yeah, I have numerous questions that are waiting. Like, who owns the building? It doesn't say in here who owns the building. Was the owner of the building offered this property? Or-
No, I have no idea who owns the
I
building.
don't
I
either.
only got involved because it was a city parcel and the question came from, obviously there was no assessor down there. Deb Gable asked the question that the former assessor would have asked, is there a development purpose for this land? At the moment, I have none. That's how I got involved.
Yeah, some of my other questions were answered. I wanted to know what happens if nothing happens there. Does it revert back to the city? Didn't say what kind of stores. I didn't know if it was vape shops or.
No, he is, so again, as I stated earlier.
Yeah,
Mr.
I know
Mohammed
it
wants
wasn't
to-
in here.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
what I'm asking. It's a 50 by 120 corner lot, buildable lot
Right.
for $4,000. It's quite a deal. It says here, building 3018 was assessed for $9,000, finalized for only $7,500. I don't get what that means. Was it paid $75,000 for that lot? $7,500?
That's
I
an
don't know
assessor
either.
question, I don't know, sir.
I mean, that's 6,000 square feet. That's 67 cents a square foot. I mean, you can't buy a piece of cloth for that much. I think that land's worth a lot more. And I was going to make a motion to table it just to see some of these questions were answered as far as who owns the building.
How long has the property been vacant?
Since McCusker died. Since Mr. McCusker passed away and they relocated. So when Mr. McCusker passed away, they had to cease the Pat McCusker tax practice. His sister picked up a successor company and now she is relocated to the corner of Bridge and South Park on the side of the Victoria Square Apartments. She is Riso McCusker Tax Services. That's a successor company to Mr. McCusker, her brother. His estate was the disposer, I believe, was the disposer of the building.
So who came up with the $4,000?
That's Mr. Mohammed's bid.
The assessor or?
It's Mr. Mohammed's bid.
Oh, okay, it's,
He's present today, is he, if we can.
we don't have an
answer
assessor,
questions.
right?
We do not.
It's assessed for 19.5
That's what's in the assessor's database for that parcel.
for $4,000.
And I believe what Mr. Mohammed is trying to articulate in his package is he sees two other properties that he sees as similar that have lower values than 19.5. I think that that's a point he can articulate.
Well, it's a nice
himself.
corner lot, it's a buildable lot. That's all. I was gonna make a motion to table until we get more information.
John?
Council President, may I ask Mr. Mohammed
Go
a
ahead.
couple of questions? Great. So I see that you're here, thanks for attending. You heard about the 30 or 60 days that I need to get my stuff together. Does that affect any of your plans for that potential area?
It does, because I have a building under contract, probably, violence for that.
We can't hear you, he's behind us.
I do have this contract, I have that building under contract, contingent upon me getting that land. Otherwise, who will develop anything in that building? With the front and parking lot, we probably 4 cars, the house will be more people, so I don't want it to be a self-imposed, action on my part, to pay the what, pay the self-imposed, and, I cannot do those over there and sit around there. So the lot has been sitting there, all due respect, and, the parcel is assessed at 19,500, correct? But it is in the neighborhood commercial district, just like the other parcels that I gave you that were comparables. And every one of those lands that were buildable had nothing in front of it, that would impede any curb cuts, sold for a lot less. So, when the mayor identified the tax rate, the land is, labeled as commercial, where, the other land is residential on that street. So, 60 days, to answer your question, yeah, it's on the contract.
I mean, you say it's under contract without, divulging, like, what's your next deadline in relation to it? You're saying it's under contract to be remodeled or reconstructed, or you mean
Contract
leased out?
acquired property. I have a customer to build it, I am purchasing the property, I intend on purchasing the property contingent upon me getting this land. If I can't get this land, we'll walk away from it.
Do you have a cutoff date with your contract with the McCluskey estate? I'm assuming it's the estate that you're dealing with.
No, I believe it's another party going that.
Is there a cutoff date that you have to act by?
30 days, that's all over.
30 days from
I will close in 30 days, my contract said I will close in 30 days.
and the contract date was dated when, and it is going to expire when?
It was these last week, Tuesday, I believe.
You signed it last week, Tuesday?
It was,
So you have 30 days from the 11th?
Correct.
John, what do you think?
I'll be able to look at something and put something together. Then it has to go before the council. There's only one council meeting in July. That's where it gets dicey, right? So there may be a special meeting in relation to other topics. I could be probably done by there too, if we want to push it that. Like, I'll look into it right away. This isn't a heavy lift. I just need the time to look at it, put something down on paper in writing and put it before the council.
John, I would even.
Unless the property is sold with a reverter clause in there, that in the event it's not an appropriate use or a realized use by a certain date,
Right.
that it reverts back to the city. But Council Member Sirdike raised the issue of the $4,000 offer and a $19,500 assessment. And I know as Mohammed put together a packet, some of it is appropriate, some of it isn't. The question is that a fair price to ask for it?
Right, and if that's something I have to look at, I have to look at it in using an appraiser and also the assessor's office, because that is a wide range. But your point is well taken, because there's two comparable properties you provided information of, and they're in that range. Whereas Councilman Sirdike looks in the roll and sees 19.5 and this is going for 4, but I would need time for that aspect as well, which again, I can do. I just need at least a week in order to do same. The reverter clause aspect, I believe the property can be sold, and such a reversion clause can be incorporated, whether it's in a separate agreement or part of the deed or whatever the case may be. I just wanted to get all the ducks in a row, but if the council wants to go through with the sale, there's still the price issue. That still has to be looked at, because I don't think there's a meeting of the minds tonight of what the value of the premises is. So no matter what, just based on everything that is said here tonight, I believe additional time is needed. And if this has to be addressed in 2 weeks as opposed to 30 days or 60, I'm fine with that, and I'll find out the answers that everybody is asking.
And just for a record, I've been against selling these buildable lots, you guys know, for a long time. Not just in the fourth ward, but all the other wards.
To answer any other questions that you guys have, we're still doing this for that.
What?
Do you have any more questions?
Any more questions?
Questions?
Oh, I don't, I was talking to the council president.
I can answer those questions.
Go ahead.
Whatever questions.
Oh, I don't think we have any other questions. But I think you need to be in-
Questions that you have to ask.
Can you tell us a bit about the project that you plan on building
So,
or developing?
I have a doctor who's a on the family, has a practice on that road. They want to do it a lot more. They look at the property and said, perfect, there's not much practice.
It's a family practice.
Yes.
Is it for the whole building,
Yes.
the medical center?
Correct.
How much work has to be done on that building?
Whatever their architects come in for to design building to suit their needs. Whatever they report to the high-end contractor, they
And in the event that deal falls through, what's going to happen with the property?
I'll have a second backup plan, which will divide this courthouse, the building is 800 square feet, divided wall right down the middle, 2 floors. I'll make something happen, it's been eyes for quite some time. All of a sudden, everyone else is making a lot of it.
Yeah, we understand.
Have we had any other bids on this particular parcel?
As I said in my comments, we've never marketed this at all.
No,
It's-
absent of marketing.
No, this is the only one. And again, I wanna reinforce what Mr. Mohammed is asking to do is a legitimate use. Is it the highest and best use? I don't have an answer for that, because we've never actively sought anybody else to, for an active project there. But you can say the same thing about all of those properties. So certainly, his idea is a great one. Is it the best one? I don't know.
Yeah, but
Councilman
it doesn't
Moretti
say
has-
that in here. It says 2 storefronts. You know, I didn't,
I understand,
Going by what I read.
and with all due respect, sir, I get it. All I'm doing is relaying the benefit
Sure.
of the conversation that Mr. Mohammed and I had, because he came in with a well-articulated conversation, and I'm just relaying that to you.
Councilman Moretti has a question.
Yeah, Mr. Mohammed, you said you had 30 days from the 11th, so that brings us to July, around the 9th or 10th. Yeah, so are we gonna be able, and we don't have a council meeting until the
you
15th.
could have a special
I know,
meeting.
yeah, hey, I'm talking.
Good, go ahead.
We would have to have a special meeting to okay this, is that what comes out? Okay, all
Yes,
right,
we'd have to think of it.
just curious, and you said 30 days, that's where.
I have a question to you, if you guys want to pull the reverter clause, am I intending to use this property, the parking lot, how does that fit into the reverter
reversion clauses are used in order, so when somebody says, I'm gonna put this property to this use, that it goes to that use. But if it doesn't go to that use, then the city had the ability to take back the property for $1 or whatever price was spent, and they get the property back. So then there could be, it becomes part of the tax roll as opposed to just lay there mothballed or vacant for 10, 20, 30 years. And it's not, when you're thinking about that property, just think about a four-corner intersection like Ridge and Abbott, one of those type of properties.
And then, my question is, if I was to buy that property, the council who's the person that property, I pay the reverter to you, okay, correct, just so that's, I'm using it for a parking lot. Right?
True.
I'm not promising to erect the building out. Right, I'm not constructing the building, I'm using it for the purpose of a parking lot for the property ready for.
Right, and I think there would be other things in motion where maybe you combine the lots to make it all one lot, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, there's things that we haven't covered here that would definitely be covered in paperwork, that both parties, none of their rights would be waived or forfeit.
Any other questions?
Okay, unless there's anything else on item number 14, moving on to item, communication from citizens, item number 15. Kimberly Smith, resident, requests City Council approve closure Church Street from Waseda Gates on Saturday, June 29th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for kickoff Summerfest Senior Fair on the grounds of Second Baptist Church. This has been an annual event and it's gone well. Any members have any questions or issues with item number 15? If not, entertainment license, Class 1, Joker's Bar and Restaurant, 1783 Electric Avenue. Anyone have any issues on that from council? A one-day residential permit, Martin Patricia Flinginger, 26 Kennedy Drive for graduation party. Live music, it won't be live music, music will only be a radio. Anyone have any issues to address on that? If not,
I actually have a question. Can people no longer just turn on a radio at a party anymore?
I don't think there's a problem with that. I just think that's part of her application.
Is it for residential? Like, are they?
I think you're not understanding
Yeah,
what you
I'm
said.
not.
I don't know why they put that in there. I don't know there's a problem with radio. It is mechanical music, obviously, and I guess it can be abused. But we haven't run into a situation where somebody wants to be outside working on their bicycle and turns on a radio.
Or
It
having
needs
a
a
party.
permit, or
No,
has a
I'm just
party.
saying, is this the standard that everyone has to follow? Or
I
can
don't-
I go home and have a party today and celebrate Celtics winning or what have you?
Celtics are going to win.
But my point is that, is everyone bound to this type of procedure?
No, my point again is, I think she just included that in
Okay,
here.
she just wanted to be,
But
very cautious
No, it's
of
not a
her-
requirement.
okay,
As
so
I
just
know
to
of.
be clear for the residents at home.
So what time is your party?
But there, just to make clear though, there are codes in the city code dealing with nuisances and noise.
Correct, and there's time
And you have
restrictions.
to abide by those,
Right,
but it doesn't, as long as you're within code, you can listen to your.
right, where a permit is not required.
Correct, yeah.
That's all I want to say, because I don't want someone at home saying, oh my God, I'm having a graduation party next week and I didn't apply for a permit, what do I do? So, just so we're clear, because,
Or they're working on their bike and they want to turn the radio on.
yeah, I guess that's when AirPods come into play.
Yeah, there you go. All right, anyone else? If not, then we'll formally call June 17th to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. City Clerk, please take the roll.
McLaughlin.
Present.
Anderson. Moretti.
Here.
Sirdike.
Present.
Morano.
Here.
Law Department,
Here.
Development and Marketing,
Here.
Public Works,
Here.
Public Safety,
Here.
Assistant Comptroller, Recreation.
Here.
Hearings from citizens. If there are any hearings, we would ask that anyone wanting to address the council, you need to go to this space between the department heads and the city council, because the microphone is over here. And for the public's consumption, we are now at the Senior Citizens Center on Martin Road here in Lackawanna as a result of a power failure in City Hall, which eliminated the electricity, the air conditioning, and more importantly, the elevator for people who could not use the stairs. So we thought it would be more convenient to move the meeting to this location. We're sorry for any inconvenience. To that extent, we have two members of the community wish to address the council. Normally, there's 3 minutes to be allocated for addressing the council, and it's supposed to be according to agenda items only, although we relax those items usually. And just for, again, public consumption of those present, the meeting is being recorded for your information. All right, Mr. M. Schroeder.
Hello, members of the council, city council president, as well as fellow council members. I'm here to speak on behalf of the special work session that is taking place on Thursday at noon pertaining
Well,
to.
that's not an agenda item, Mr. Schroeder, but if you want to speak briefly on it, we'll hear you.
The reason why I'm here is unfortunately due to the late notice. I'm just here with additional residents of the city of Lackawanna, just to discuss, has there been a percentage of the increase that has been proposed? Because that information has not been disclosed at this point in time.
Well, we haven't discussed the budget. We haven't finalized our discussion as between the council and the mayor, so I don't have an answer for you today. What's being proposed does look like it's going to require, if it's passed, a waiver of the tax cap, and that's what the special meeting is for.
So at this point in time, there's no percentage that's been discussed.
Not that I've discussed, no. I'm not aware of an exact percentage of increase, no.
And that will not be voted on Thursday,
That
correct?
will not be voted on. It's simply a hearing, a public hearing to determine, to allow the public a voice on the issue of raising the tax cap and waiving the tax cap, and for this year only.
And will that information be published?
By via of the Zoom meeting, it'll be on Zoom for sure, if that's what you mean by publishing.
Yes.
That's what we do, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Second individual is John Kwasniewski.
Number 10 over there, what kind of truck was that?
That was a truck that was bought from another municipality in the southern tier, and that we used for a while our truck was being repaired.
That from the fire department?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what happened too. And,
that was the ladder truck, yeah.
number 11, it says that, counts that were in the red as of July 31st. It ain't July yet.
2023.
Oh, okay. And, could you give me a list of what this,
You can request, I don't know.
request a list? Of what we're paying?
It was part of the council budget, I thought.
Sure, and it's not, just to be clear, it was money previously allocated that is just being moved from one place to another to make sure that things even out in the reconciliation process. But we'll get you whatever.
Is it coming out of the fund balance?
Doesn't come out of the general fund, no.
No.
It's just reassigning line items from one place to another, no monies.
One part of the budget to another part of the budget, right?
Right.
Line items, though, they're within the same categories, the same department, same categories, just moving from periodicals to travel expenses or vice versa. Line items. So the monies were already previously allocated in, I presume, the 2022-23 budget, and this is just reconciling the process to make sure that the monies that were spent were in the right area, and they're accounted for in that area.
Thank you. All right.
Approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 3rd, 2024.
Morano moves to adopt minutes for regular meeting June 3rd, 2024.
Ready, second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to adopt minutes of the regular meeting of June 3rd, 2024. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano? Carried 5-0. Departmental reports 1 through 3.
Morano moves to receive and file departmental reports 1 through 3 inclusive.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe to receive and file departmental reports 1 through 3. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. City Attorney requests the council approve the agreement between the city and City Creatures Animal Hospital. The City Creatures will provide veterinary services for the police department canine. Agreement is attached.
Morano moves to approve request.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve request. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Assessor's Aid submits to the City Council an updated inventory list of the city-owned properties available for sale.
Morano moves to receive and file.
Second.
Maflahe seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Sirdike to receive and file. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Director of Parks and Recreation requests the City Council approve the use of Franklin Playground by the Global Concepts Charter High School Soccer Team. Proof of insurance will be provided.
Morano moves to approve request.
Ready, second.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve request. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Senior Foreman of Public Works requests the City Council approve the contract from Erie County Bid to use Galvo Construction for the salt shed project. Bid price is $274,500. Proposal is attached.
Morano moves to approve request.
Second, Sirdike.
Motion by Morano, second by Sirdike to approve request. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Senior Foreman of Public Works requests the City Council approve the ordinance transferring $150,446.40 to cover the balance due after receipt of the payments from the insurance company for destruction to the salt shed. The insurance payout will be in the amount of $124,053.60.
Morano moves to receive and file act on ordinance.
Second, Sirdike.
Motion by Morano, second by Sirdike to receive and file act on ordinance. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. An ordinance amending the 2023-2024 budget ordinances, depositing the insurance payout totaling $124,053.60 to budget code city garage repairs and replacements for expected insurance recoveries and transferring $150,446.40 from the contingent budget code to city garage repairs and replacements. Total cost of the salt shed replacement is in the amount of $274,500.
Morano moves to adopt ordinance as written.
Second, Sirdike.
Motion by Morano, second by Sirdike to adopt ordinance as written. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Assistant City Comptroller requests the City Council approve the ordinance regarding the proceeds received from the sale of DPW vehicles in the amount of $4,683.
Morano moves to receive and file act on ordinance.
Ready, second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to receive and file act on ordinance. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. An ordinance amending the 2023-2024 budget ordinances transferring $4,683 from the sale of scrap revenue budget code to maintenance of streets equipment budget code.
Morano moves to adopt ordinance as written.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to adopt ordinance as written. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Assistant City Comptroller requests the City Council approve the ordinance regarding the proceeds received from the sale of 1988 Simon duplex ladder truck, which was sold for $6,550.
Morano moves to receive and file act on ordinance.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to receive and file act on ordinance. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. An ordinance amending the 2023-2024 budget ordinances transferring $6,550 reported to other unclassified revenues and to transfer the amount to repairs to building and equipment.
Morano moves to adopt ordinance as written.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to adopt ordinance as written. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Assistant City Comptroller requests the City Council approve a list of transfers that will balance all of the accounts that were in the red as of July 31st, 2023.
Morano moves to approve request, or approve list of transfers.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve the list of transfers. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Assistant City Comptroller requests the City Council approve the ordinance regarding the transfer of $30,000 for the services to be provided by training support in the assessor's office.
Morano moves to receive and file act on ordinance.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to receive and file act on ordinance. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. An ordinance amending the 2023-2024 budget ordinances transferring $30,000 from the contingent account to assessment consulting / maintenance fee for training and support services.
Morano moves to adopt ordinance as written.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to adopt ordinance as written. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson? Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Director of Development, Marketing, and Public Information requests the council approve the ordinance pre-funding a zoning code update in the amount of $100,000, of which $90,000 is reimbursable upon completion of the project.
Morano moves to receive and file act on ordinance.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to receive and file act on ordinance. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. An ordinance amending the 2023-2024 budget ordinances, adding the following budget code to the capital fund: zoning update project and zoning code update project city share. $100,000 will be transferred from the development consulting budget line. $90,000 will be placed into the zoning code update project. $10,000 into the zoning code update project city share.
Morano moves to adopt ordinance as written.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to adopt ordinance as written. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson? Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Director of Development, Marketing, and Public Information requests the City Council authorize the mayor to sign a contract with CNS Engineers to lead the zoning code updates project in partnership with the Department of Development. Agreement is attached.
Morano moves to approve request.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to approve request. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Assessor's aid requests the City Council approve the ordinance regarding the sale of the vacant lot 3140 South Park Avenue to Amana Enterprises LLC in the amount of $4,000.
I'd like to make a motion to table that for more information, more written information, not verbal.
Was there a second? Morano seconds.
Motion by Sirdike, second by Morano, to table for further information. Verbal, written, not verbal. Maflahe?
No.
Anderson?
Yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 4-1. Yeah, communication from citizens. Kimberly Smith, resident, requests the city council approve the closure of Church Street from Wassing to Gates on Saturday, June 29, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the kickoff of Summerfest and Senior Fair on the grounds of Second Baptist Church. The council has approved this in the past.
Morano moves to approve request, refer to public safety, public works.
Long seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe to approve request, refer to public safety and public works. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson? Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Class 1 entertainment license, live music and/or mechanical reproduction, Joker's Bar and Restaurant, 1793 Electric Avenue. New entertainment license is complete. Business registration is current.
Morano moves to approve class 1 entertainment license.
Motion by Morano, second by Anderson to approve Class 1 entertainment license. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson? Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Mark and Patricia Fellinger, 26 Kennedy Drive graduation party. New entertainment license is complete. Only music being provided is radio.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the one-day permit.
Second. Right.
Motion by Sirdike, second by Moretti to approve a one-day permit. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson? Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0.
Council members, any table items or old business they wish to bring up at this point?
We have a question,
Yes,
Council President. The splash pad is supposed to be open July 1st, 8th.
Like,
Can't get any earlier, like this week, right?
Could use it
You
tomorrow.
can go there if you want.
Yeah.
indeed, we won't tell anybody we're going to.
Splash.
Well, my pool's open
All
tomorrow.
right, thank you.
All right.
And
Thank you.
then address again for the public? That pool?
Let's see, whatever.
Yeah, don't look at my address. Anything else?
Sharon Parker.
If not, then Morano moves to adjourn.
You said
Long
8th?
seconds.
Motion by Morano, second by Maflahe to adjourn meeting. Maflahe?
Yes.
Anderson? Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
Yes.
Morano?
Yes.
Carried 5-0.
All right, everyone, thank you and good night.